Okay, so when I was 25 years old and living in La La Land, one of my best friends, Mary, called me up and said, "Do you want to be in a full page spread in Lucky magazine wearing wedding dresses?" And I was like, "Hells yes." I was young. I had just moved across the country from Chicago, and I was excited and looking for adventure, and this seemed like the perfect fit. And so she said, "Okay, so you have to send a headshot to the casting director. She'll do some details with you. Okay, and the only thing is that you actually have to pretend that we're real brides. Okay, bye." And I was like, "Mary, I don't think I can do that. I'm terrible at lying, and, I don't think that's my thing." And she's like, "No, it'll be great. We'll be in the lie together. Nobody would care. So let's just do it." And I do believe in safety in numbers, so I thought, okay. Plus, I had been a real bride just the year before, so I thought, okay, maybe I can fake my way through this. So I had a phone conversation with the casting director a few days before or something, and she went through the details of the day with me, and then she confirmed at the end of the conversation, "So you are engaged to be married, right?" And I was like, "Yes, I am. I'll see you there." And so that's when I realized that we were going to be at this bridal shoot with presumably other real brides, and there was going to be probably wedding talk. So we were going to need wedding dates. We were going to need backstories. We were going to need engagement rings. So the day before the shoot, I went to Claire's boutique and I got us a 3-pack of wedding rings, and Mary picked the solitaire and I picked the 3-stone. And the day we went to the bridal shoot, we practiced our stories for each other and we admired each other's rings, and we were really just giddy and ready for the day. And it was on the famous Robertson Boulevard, and we tried on wedding dresses. We had, oh, that's okay. It's, not going to be on the radio, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. And then we had, we had wedding dresses picked out, and we had our jewelry and accessories, and then all we had to do was wait in the trailer to get our hair and makeup done. And that's when I was cornered by the most interrogated, loquacious bride of all. And she proceeded to ask me a lot of questions as I got my hair and makeup done. "So when are you getting married?" "Oh, no date set, just playing it by ear." "Oh, how come?" "Well, my fiance David is in med school in New York, and so we're long distance, so we're just gonna wait till we're in a more settled state." "Oh, let me see your ring." And I quickly flashed her my ring, realizing, "Do you like my $2 ring? Oh my God, it looks so overly sparkly." And then she proceeded to ask me about how did he propose. And you see, having been a real bride before, that's when my unresolved issues about having had this failed engagement started to come up, and I was going to be found out now as a fraudulent bride again. And the thing is, I had a real wedding dress, except it was sitting in a box in my parents' garage in Chicago, and I had a real engagement ring, except I had given it back to my ex-fiance, whose name was not David, and he was not in med school in New York. And I had a real backstory, except my backstory was a lot more heartache and a lot less Hollywood glamour photo shoots. And I started getting red and perspiring, and I thought about how, they say the saying, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And it's not like my goal was to be married, but it wasn't to be constantly engaged. And I was starting to think I was going to be called always a bride, never a wife. And I was dripping sweat, and my makeup was coming off, and Mary was giving me a hold it together look. And that's when they called my name. And I went to get my modeling on. And I have to tell you, I felt very special for the day, as phony as I was, totally fake. And when the magazine came out, I was very proud. And yes, people did call my parents and say, "Is Sivan engaged again?" And they were like, "No, it's fake." And later that month, I met this guy, and partly because I thought it would impress him, and also because it was, preemptive damage control, I told him about the photo shoot in the magazine. And he was like, "Well, can I see it?" And I said, "Yes, but I emphasize it's totally fake." And so he saw it, and then he noted to me that, at the bottom it says, "her own engagement ring." So I didn't know how that played, but apparently a few weeks later, he was at a friend's house, and the friend's girlfriend had magazines all over the table, and his friend was like, "Well, tell me about this new girl you're dating." And he's like, "Well, hold on a second." And he grabbed the magazine, he opened it up to my page, and he showed him. And a couple years later, I put on my third wedding dress as a bona fide bride. Thank you.
That was absolutely wonderful. Thank you